Outlet Liquor is your place to buy a case. Stock up and save when you shop the lowest prices available every day at Outlet Liquor. You never have to wait for a sale. The more you buy, the more you save. Only at Outlet Liquor.
What's your outlet?
Folks, welcome back to Trainwreck tonight, 3:40. It is May 6, 2024. We are rolling on into the meat of it, whether it's the second round of the NBA and NHL playoffs, whether it might be the Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef, whether it's WWE Backlash, or whether it's the Bandits going to defend their NLL championship. So buckle up. We got some great guests with Allie, Brady, Gabb, Goudy, and of course we got our panel of Majka and Slick. So buckle up, stay tuned, and let's go.
You don't stop. Follow me into the great unknown, where pink flamingos grow. Diet soda flows, and what you take magically regenerates. On supermarket shelves, the ovens clean themselves. You don't pay the tab till the last drop. So we all ride for nothing, 'cause this train never stops. We make a good team, me and you, we do. You can scratch my back, and I'll scratch my back too. And everyone is welcome at the party, yeah. People, more is more. Are we all on board? You don't pay the tab till the last drop. So we all ride for nothing, 'cause this train never stops.
Alrighty, folks, and welcome back here on Trainwreck tonight, 3:40. Dirty at the Derby, sponsored by our favorite place to buy a case, Outlet Liquor. So let's bring in our panel to get the show started. We got Slick Saturday. We got Majka, your friend, my friend, our friend, Jake Majka. Gents, great weekend, packed with action, and it's only action ahead.
Playoffs are great. It's a great time of year with all sports going on. We had another Slick Clips on Saturday, for those that know. It was great. And Mystic Dan, call me Mystic Slick, baby.
What a slick Saturday for you.
Yeah,
you were on
huge.
fire, bro.
It was huge.
On
sure.
fire. Derby, I mean, you can't ask for a better derby than that. I caught maybe I was late to it, got on my phone as quick as I could after getting back from dinner, caught literally the last 20 seconds of the race, and that's all I needed.
It's all you need.
Finish to get to that. Was happy for all the Mystic Dan bettors out there, including you, Slick. Should have listened to you. Listen to you later on for UFC with some great fights there. Anthony Edwards, not that he's arrived, but he's taking a huge taking a leap here. And that was a crazy game too on Saturday night. And then we had some fun games yesterday too. So yeah, great weekend all around.
Agreed. Seriously, we are strapped in. We are ready to go. So as far as the Derby, Slick. So I know you were on Mystic Dan. I know you got that out to the people, and then you doubled up. You crushed it at UFC 301.
Yeah, big night in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. You know, not the people's typical pay-per-view that they would buy for UFC, but nonetheless, however you were watching, the true MMA fans were watching because we had a title fight on the line. Brazilian Alexandre Pantoja successfully defending his flyweight title in his home country. So that was pretty cool to see. And some other great fights. You saw the legend, future UFC Hall of Famer Jose Aldo still doing his thing, getting a unanimous decision win. So all around great night for the Brazilians and those fans because they're a rowdy bunch, let me tell you. But yeah, on the main event, successfully 2-1, cashed the bet on Pantoja by decision. Not bad. And I don't fade the Australians very often, so you had to know something was up and that was free money in my eyes. So worked out.
I agree. You going against the Thunder Down Under is definitely something that everyone should take note of. With that said, taking note of something, obviously this past year, the Kansas City Chiefs, they came in as middling favorites, were able to kind of, sustain, were able to survive and eventually defend their championship. We're seeing the same thing right now with the Buffalo Bandits. They go out and they win a title last year. And then, they kind of, I don't want to say sleepwalk through the season, but, a casual, defense throughout the regular season. But now they're back here again in the NLL finals. A big 2-0 sweep over the Rock, Slick.
Yeah, I mean, huge. Toronto taking a bunch of L's this weekend. You love to see it. And what better way than with the Bandits, the team in the orange and purple. I mean, it's electric that we have a team in the finals 2 years in a row. Kind of feels surreal, to be honest, living in this city. But hey, I'll take it. Dominated Toronto in pretty easy fashion. Now we got Albany coming up in a couple weeks. So we'll see. I hope the boys can go back to back.
That Bandits championship parade in the Buffalo bracket next year could be a huge favorite if we get a back-to-back. What can the city do again for a second time? That was it's crazy to see the playoff performers come through, because like you said, it was like not like a bad season, but not a typical. Yeah, it was just not what we expected.
Casual, very casual.
Yeah,
felt like an NBA regular season.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, exactly. Just finding a way to do it. And now they're there where the stakes are the highest. You need your performers obviously to come through just like they did, last week when we were there. We will be going to the finals, whether it's Big Ugly Allie, myself and Slick, or some variation of the crew. So you need your performers to show out. So we'll be seeing if Byrne and Daner can show out there. Just like the Cavs yesterday needed Spida Mitchell to show out. And speaking of primetime performers in Cleveland, let's go to one primetime performer in Cleveland that we know in the form of FanDuel's Gabb Goudy. And folks, our next guest at this time can always be seen making some noise, whether she's at the Kentucky Derby finish line or bodying some mouth breather on the timeline. It is Cleveland's Gabb Goudy. Gabb, welcome to the show. How are you doing today? Happy Monday.
I'm great. How are you?
Doing well. So I know you had quite the weekend. Give me the kind of the full enchilada. I know it was Kentucky Derby Saturday, but what was the rest of it? What was Thursday, Friday, and Sunday looking like?
Well, Friday was a little bit of a travel day, but I also went to the Kentucky Derby. Well, I went to Churchill Downs. It was the Oaks. I guess it's like the lady horses race, and you wear pink, and it's cute. And that one was really fun and cute. And then Saturday, Kentucky Derby. Friday night, we also had a FanDuel party. Neo was there. He was bringing women on stage, and he brought this like 60-year-old lady on stage. She stole the show. She was a star.
That's hard to do with Neo on stage too. I mean, he's no like light of foot. Is he still at the top of his game?
Oh my God, he was phenomenal. Every single song was a bop. I was like, oh yeah, I know this song. Oh yeah, I know this one too. No misses.
That's amazing. You're getting all the perks. I mean, I'm kind of jealous. How long has it been with FanDuel now?
It's been about 4 years, almost 4 years. Yeah.
Okay. Dominating, obviously. So then you're there Saturday. So talk to me about the content. Talk to me about the vibe. Was that your first time being at the Kentucky Derby?
No, I was there last year. Last year was fun. This year was even better because last year I didn't really know what was going on. First timer.
Ignorance is bliss. It's like the first time you watch a TV show. You watch it to enjoy it. You get what's going on. Then the next time, you kind of pay attention. You kind of know what's going on a little bit more.
Yeah. And then you are an expert. So did some red carpet interviews, did some fan content, bet on one race. I only bet on one race, lost. But it was fun.
Any good interviews did you snag on the red carpet?
Jameis Winston, he was awesome. He was so funny.
So you have to be excited about that. I know you've been pushing that vibe big time with Jameis.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool to see Jameis out there take the field a couple games. I think everybody wants that.
Yeah, that's true. Everyone wants to see Jameis get one more chance. Too many, a lot of interceptions that 1 year, but is it just the coach?
I mean,
who knows? Who knows?
For anything, it's just for the memes.
Okay. Would
it was funny.
if you, I gotta hold off. Okay, but we'll hold off. So all in all, Kentucky Derby. Now that you've experienced it again, now that you've gone a second time, is it something that you would put on like your Mount Rushmore of sports events? I mean, you've been to a lot of stuff.
No, I wouldn't put on my Mount Rushmore of sporting events.
Why is that? Like too much chaos, too much nonsense?
Well, my feet hurt really bad. That was my own fault. So that was my own decision. I could have prevented that, but still the outfit was great.
The outfit, I give you credit. With that said, were the feet hurting from pounding the pavement looking for content, or was it like a necessity of being at the Derby?
Both.
Okay.
It was both. And I was standing in one place for like 4 hours, just standing there with a microphone. And I think that's what did it.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, sometimes standing in place for a couple hours, that seemed like that was what the Cavs were doing in the first
Oh my
half
God, yeah, they
yesterday.
were.
Okay. So talk to me. I wasn't checking the timeline specifically at this window. I think I was taking an afternoon nap. I hate to say it, but late first half, were you panicking? What was Cavs fan base like? Was it 5-alarm fire?
Well, everything that I said in the first half was really mean, but I don't regret anything that I said. I still stand
That's
by
fair.
it.
That's fair.
No taking that back. I thought we were going to get blown out by like 30.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like it. I mean,
Yeah,
the
it
first
looked
half, it
bad.
was all Orlando. It was kind of that gritty game that the series has been the whole way, but it was going in Orlando's direction. Now, here's the thing with the NBA. Unless it's a 20-plus point game, which it was kind of on the fringe of, it was like 10,
almost,
15 at points.
18.
Unless it's 20-plus, you can't really write a game off. Anything could happen in the NBA with 20-point game. And then you get the third quarter and the game's on its head, of course.
Yeah. So third quarter was good. Let me tell you this though. I'm
Talk
not
to me.
trying to take credit. I'm not
Okay.
trying to take credit for the Cavs win. But I was traveling all day yesterday and my flight was at like 1:30 and I couldn't watch the first half of the game. And to start the flight, we had ESPN, but for some reason it was saying game is out of coverage. I'm getting NBA blackouts on an airplane. I didn't understand that. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, pops up on the screen for the second half. Watch the whole second half. And I watched the entire comeback. So
Oh,
it
that's
must have been
glorious.
me.
All the best parts. So now, did you have Twitter while it was blacked out, though?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so
And I was,
that's
like,
actually,
refreshing.
I was going to say, you got the best of all worlds because you got to watch the second half, which is obviously the better part of the game, but you kind of got the worst of all worlds in that you only got to experience Twitter when it was miserable, which was probably like
Doom.
terrible. Yeah.
Doom scrolling, yeah.
Doom scrolling on X. Not exactly what you want to have happen, although I think Elon doesn't mind. Okay, so we're on to the Celtics here. Optimistic, or is it kind of like we're just happy to be here? I mean, what's the vibe?
I don't
Cavs
want to
Nation?
say we're happy to be here. That sounds like such a lame thing to say,
Mhm.
we get to go on. No, we want to win more games. We were a good team at one point in the year. We were winning a lot of games. So why can't we figure out how to do that now? We should win these games. We have good players on our team. Hopefully Jared Allen can play.
Yeah,
And
that's
I'm
big.
not going down the doom route yet. I'm not saying that we're going to win the series. But I think we're going to be more competitive than everybody is giving us credit for. I mean, even the books, they're like, money on fire if you bet on the Cavs. So,
I mean, maybe it's worth lacing the Cavs. I mean, let's
Maybe
face
like
it. You know, when the
$5.
money's all in one direction, it might be, worth Harry Styling the other way, obviously. But with that said, okay, for the Cavs to win, what needs to happen besides Spida Mitchell going off for, average of 35 every game?
Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and everybody else on that damn basketball team needs to figure it out all together, all at once, at the same time, in the same game for multiple games. That's a lot to ask for.
It is a lot to ask for, but they just got it done. Again, the series doesn't start, so you lose at home. So apparently I'm still waiting on the Cavs Magic series to start, last I checked. But with that said, speaking of a group of games and doing well, I mean, I knew the Guardians were doing well. I knew they were above 500. I knew they were chugging along. I didn't know they were a top 5 team in the MLB so far into May here, 22-12. What was it? Sustainable? Question mark.
TBD. We'll
Okay.
find out
Well,
later.
I have to actually go back because I jumped the gun too much because we got the Cavs in the second round real quick. Would you take, because I've seen you floating this option already on the timeline.
Okay.
If I could give you the button for each option.
The answer is yes. I want LeBron.
Cavs to beat the Celtics in this series,
Okay.
or just the guarantee that sometime in the next 4 years LeBron comes back to Cleveland? Which would you rather have?
LeBron.
You're gonna take that over the Celtics?
I'll take them to beat the Celtics.
The reason it's tough is because I feel like
what happens after that?
if you beat the
Lose to the
Celtics, you
Knicks?
have to think that you're in the finals. Like if you could beat the Celtics, you could beat the Knicks. If you beat the Celtics, you
I
could beat
don't
the
know if we
Pacers,
can.
of course. You don't know if you could beat the Knicks?
I watched it last year. That was bad.
You must be like doom Goudy in 2024. I've seen optimism from you in the past, and now I'm seeing your team like at the precipice of greatness, and you're worried.
Did you see the series?
Yeah, I saw the series. It was a phone booth. I call it a phone booth series. It was gritty. They were grinding it out. When
It's
one
scary.
team got thing going in their direction, it was all their direction, as we saw even in Game 7. So
Yeah,
with that
it's
said, I
scary.
think a new series, new mindset, new approach. And let's face it, I mean, at the end of the day, the Celtics lost a game to a Jimmy Butler-less Heat at the end of the day.
They did. And we
So,
played the Celtics well.
yeah, you just got to play well. Again, it's like you don't have to win these games by 20 points. You got to find a way to win 4 out of the next
Gotta
7
win.
by 1 point. Just win. Okay, so but with that said, now you're taking the Saz. You're flopping back to Cavs over Celtics.
I mean, LeBron's my guy. I love LeBron. LeBron's going to be my favorite basketball player of all time till the end of time.
Did that new
But-
contract hurt a little? Like, I mean, you were on the momentum. I saw you.
But I feel like he's going to come back regardless, so I don't need to make that decision for him.
Well, or the Cavs could just trade up and draft Bronny Jr. I mean,
Sure.
so
Might as
there's many ways to achieve that. Okay, so speaking of many ways to achieve, we got the Guardians in the MLB. We obviously have the White Sox, so they got about 13
Woof.
buys still on the schedule here. But we're talking sustainability. We're talking end game here. Just like I asked you about the Cavs, if they're going to beat the Celtics, if the Guardians are going to win 95 plus games, which they are pacing like at this point, but it's about sustainability over 6 months. If they're going to win 95 plus games, what needs to happen, or what needs
I'd
to
be happy
continue
with
happening?
80 some games. But if they were to do 90 some games,
They're pacing 100.
well, I'm just saying, like, I think they're gonna do fine. I think they're gonna make the playoffs. But I'm not putting them at 95. I'm happy with my over at 78 that I took.
Okay.
Right? That sounds
That's fair.
great.
That is fair.
But we need our pitchers to stay healthy. Gavin Williams to come back off the IL and figure out that elbow issue. I need Tristan McKenzie to stay healthy.
Is
And-
Tristan McKenzie the big Cleveland always has a pitcher. It's like just when you think their pitching's good, it's like their third, fourth, or fifth guy becomes like an ace out of nowhere.
Well, we
Is
got
that
a couple of those.
McKenzie? Okay,
No,
you got a couple this
Tristan's
year.
already like one.
Oh,
of
he's
the-
already evolved to his second
he's
form.
already
I
done
missed that. Okay.
But he just had some elbow issues last year. He's already evolved. Tanner Bybee is evolving, and underneath of him
Bybee.
is Gavin Williams, who is the next.
Yeah,
Like-
Gavin. All right, I've seen him floating around the fantasy circles. Speaking of fantasy circles, one of my favorite things in a fantasy in my world, playing on a sports team with your brother. So you got Josh and Bo Naylor. By the way, I've put it on the record what a big fan I am of Josh Naylor and his ability to act like a complete lunatic at any moment.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of my favorite things in sports. But basically my first favorite non-Yankee in the MLB. But we're gonna play Josh or Bo Naylor here with Gabb Goudy. So with that said, are you ready?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Brought to you by Outlet Liquor, your place to buy a case, obviously. So with that said, if you were going to go Josh or Bo there, who would you rather host a podcast with?
Oh, so I think I'm gonna go with Josh, but I feel like he's a little more serious than Bo. I think Bo would be funnier, but Josh has the MLB experience and he probably has more connects right now, and we could probably get some cooler guests.
I thought that was a total personality versus network pick. Like, I
Yeah.
think Bo probably has the better personality for a pilot, but Josh probably
Right,
more
'cause Josh
established,
is
like you
like-
said. Of course.
Josh is like, you know how he's like super crazy
Yes.
on the field, but when he does his interviews, he's so
Super
dead
serious.
serious.
Yep,
Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay. Which one of the Naylor brothers is more likely to end up like the guy in Baby Reindeer? You seen it?
No, what's Baby Reindeer?
Okay, you got to watch it on Netflix. Guy
I see
basically
it on
ends up
Netflix,
getting
but I don't know what it's about.
stalked in a crazy way. So basically, who is more of a pushover between Josh or Bo Naylor?
But it's gonna be Bo. No one's gonna
Because-
mess with Josh.
Yeah, no, that's true. A stalker with Josh, that could get dangerous.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
he's
so with
gonna-
that said, who would you rather go on a road trip with? This is kind of similar to the podcast thing, but road trip is like, it's that like 3 days straight. So is Josh too much for that? Would you rather go with the safer Bo pick?
Yeah, I think I would rather go with Bo.
Okay. Which of the Naylor brothers do you think has a more complete fridge? Meaning like, multiple food groups, everything covered. Who do you think is the safer pick there?
Probably Josh.
Okay. And who do you think is the bigger T-Swift fan? Josh or
Ooh,
Bo
I
Naylor?
think it would be Bo.
Okay. I think it's Bo too. I think
Yeah.
that's a safe pick.
He's
This is
just like-
Josh or Bo.
Little
Brought to
sweetie.
you by Outlet Liquor with Gabb Goudy here in Cleveland. Let's wind it down here with our time with Gigi. Drake or Kendrick feud. So I know you were busy this weekend and a lot happened.
Yeah,
Are you up to date? Or where are you at on this?
Okay, I've listened. I didn't listen to the newest Drake one.
Okay.
The one yesterday, the one with like the little comment photo,
Yeah.
Didn't listen to that. I've listened to all the other ones.
Yeah. Okay.
So a little up to speed, not all the
Okay.
way.
Okay. So you're in like Breaking Bad season 4 or
Yeah.
season 5, basically. So who you got? You got Kendrick way out front right now?
Oh, for sure.
Okay. I figured that
Right.
was, I didn't want to assume. I didn't want to assume.
No, it's okay. Kendrick for
Um,
sure,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna listen to all.
Of course. Well, you got to catch up. So I won't go any further until you can binge and catch up the rest. Speaking of catching up, did you see the snack prices at the Formula One this weekend?
Were they expensive?
I believe it was $25 for a bottle of water.
Okay, well, see,
It
that
was
changes
fed.
my decision on a lot of things now.
Yeah, that does change a lot. So my question is, what's the most expensive snack you've ever bought? / what's the thing you've ever you could remember overpaying for the most in your world?
Oof, literally.
Because you've been at a lot of high tier, but you've been at a lot of crazy spots.
Literally everything, like a
Yeah.
$40 drink. Oh, the most expensive thing I've ever got was I didn't buy this, but someone bought it for us when we were in Vegas. We were at
Okay.
a pool party at
Nice flex.
Encore, and someone bought us these margaritas, and they were $60 each.
$60 each.
They were
That's
in
pretty
these big
significant.
cups. With,
Okay.
that
Okay,
doesn't
with the
justify it.
swirly straws. Wait, was it the one that goes all the way down?
No, it was more like this size, not
Okay.
like the ones that are all the way slushy to the floor. No.
Okay.
So it wasn't a $60 worth of margarita, but we still got them.
Okay. Well, hey, shout out to you and shout out to the crew in Vegas. Encore pool. You never know what's going to happen. Speaking of never know what's going to happen, we're wrapping it up here with Gabb Goudy. Tom Brady roast last night. Did you catch that?
I saw the clips on Twitter and they were all hilarious.
They were all good. I was surprised at how over the top they went with Brady. I mean, he looked a little uncomfortable at times with certain ones, but
it was funny.
Good sport. Good sport. Just like anything, he finds a way to survive, whether it's, being down 20 in the Super Bowl or, becoming a Florida man and unemployed all of a sudden. With that said, he was doing a great job bodying the haters. I got to bring it up while I got you here. I opened up the timeline today, I think it was, and you were bodying a hater. The first
7 a.m.
So talk to me. Is it more, and we can peel back the curtain here. Is it more for the brand? Is it more so the people shouldn't get away with it that are doing it? Is it more to stand up for maybe someone like you who doesn't have as big a platform that is getting it done to them? Is it a little bit of combo of all of them? What drives you to be this is, I gotta fire this out?
One, they shouldn't talk like that to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's so weird to comment about someone's appearance like that. Two, it's just really funny to do. And I feel like I always have a good comeback. So why not use them? I think in my my next career adventure, I think I need to be a ghostwriter, just to insult people for others. If you need a comeback, give me a couple dollars. I'll have something ready for you in 5 minutes.
A ghost insulter. I like that. I mean, now are you going to tell everyone to just threaten to crush everyone in their thighs? Is that the go-to one?
No, it's situational.
Okay, because I was going to say that's more tailored to your finishing move, right? Because I've seen you use that one a couple times. You get good. You get good longevity. The crowd does like that. So you got it's like Hulk Hogan with the leg drop. You know what I mean? Yeah. Literally. So shout out to them. Shout out to your finishing move, guys. Shout out to her rolling along here with us on Trainer Tonight 340. Make sure you're following her at GABBGOUDY. And she's got a couple burners where she's talking baseball on Baseball Gabb. She's talking on TikTok. She's got it all. So make sure you follow her. Gabb, thanks for coming along and make sure to have a good night now.
Yeah, thank you.
All righty, and we're back here on Trainwreck Tonight 340, caught up with Gabb Goudy of FanDuel. Always good to speak with her, but let's get into it. I love creating drama when there can be some in Trainwreck, good old-fashioned fun drama, but I don't have to create anything now because in the second round of the NBA playoffs, we got Dunny and Slick's Celtics sneaking by the Heat in a gentleman's sweep in 5 against Jake Majka's Cavs, who had to grind it out against, Banchero and the Magic. So, Majka, I'll let you kick this off. Are you feeling confidence heading into the series?
Well, yeah, first of all, having to go up against Slick today here on Trainwreck Tonight, tomorrow night against Dunny, I'm going to be fighting for my life here on all our platforms defending the Cavaliers. The confidence level, though, if we're going out of 10, we're at a 2, maybe a 3. I'm not confident in this Cavs team. Listen, the fact that they snuck by this Magic team, that they wanted to play. They literally tanked game 82. We're we want the Orlando Magic, and then couldn't beat them on the road, and now have to go into Boston at one of the best, I believe the best home floor, if not second best record in the league on the home floor. Not feeling great. But what I am encouraged by is Donovan Mitchell, who I have not been a big fan of his whole career. Was not happy before he got traded to the Cavs. Love having a superstar on the team, and he's been incredible. But I've made fun of him for some lackluster playoff performances. And what he did in Game 6 and Game 7. Game 6, putting the team on his back, literally 50 of 93 points, went crazy in a loss. And then yesterday, 37 points, carrying them in the second half. I think he had 24 in the second half. Just showed that he had a dedication to this team and that he could come through in those big moments. That's all I was hoping for from that guy. And he's on a bum knee too. Like that's the crazy. He's been dealing with a knee issue since the beginning of March, end of February. He's went out. I think he went to the locker room both in the last 2 games, get some treatment on the knee, came back out and had really a legacy defining performance. He had the better stats than LeBron James ever had in an elimination game for the Cavaliers. Like that's the kind of area we're talking about with the Cavs. But if you're a Cavs fan, you just got to enjoy this. It's the first series since '93 that the Cavs have won without a guy named LeBron James on the team. So you really have to like enjoy this moment, enjoy the present. But I don't feel good about this series against the Celtics, not one bit.
Dan Gilbert's first playoff series win without LeBron. So congratulations
insane,
to him
bro.
and the organization. Absolutely crazy. So Slick, a counterpoint here. You get past the Heat in 5. But with that said, we've seen, in years past, the Celtics team can falter. Are you feeling confident? Are you feeling like it's, a bump in the road? Or do we have to take this Cavs team seriously for the Celtics?
I feel confident. I think they definitely got to take them seriously. This Cavs team is pretty exciting to me. I do like when the Cavs are good. It just feels fun, playoff basketball in Cleveland. And I think these are the type of guys to do it. And the fans love this team too, but going into Boston is a tough tale, as Majka said. It'll be interesting if the Celtics can get consistent scoring from the likes of Derek White, maybe Peyton Pritchard off the bench, Sam Hauser. They'll be just fine without Porzingis, but it will be interesting to see how many games he is out for, and if he does come back this series. I'm going to go with the Celtics in 5 again, but can't be taken too lightly. Every team in this is in the playoffs for a reason, and any team can win on any given night. Sure, it is hard as hell to play on the road in Boston against this Celtics team, but these Cavs are full of dogs, and I think if you take them lightly, they could give up a game or two. But I think I'm going to go with Celtics in 5 as of right now.
I will say the pressure is all on the Celtics in this series and
Yeah,
Celtics
100%.
fans. Like, Cavs fans, we're ready. Like my conversations leading up to Game 7 have been talking about blowing up the Cavs in the offseason, not about them winning the finals.
I know.
And that's where Cavs fans really are. So we're playing with house money. If the Cavs could steal one of these 2 games, especially in Boston, say Mitchell continues his hot streak, goes for like 50 or something like that. Karis LeVert has scored almost 50 points against the Celtics.
He had a great game last night too.
And he played great last night. Like if the Cavs steal that a little bit, we've seen this Celtics team, at least in the past, they have some pressure on them. That's where they've had some moments where they've crumbled, almost losing in 6 last year and then getting blown out in Game 7 to the Heat. I don't have to run through the whole ringer of losses for Slick here. I won't do that. I will say the last time the Cavs and Celtics played, Jason Tatum's first playoff series, lost to the Cavs in the
I remember that one vividly.
So I'm just saying the Cavs have had some, at least the most recent history, had some success. So I think house money for the Cavs here. If you split a game in Boston, like especially this first game, going back to Cleveland 1-1, like you said, the crowd's going to be crazy. I'll be feeling a little bit differently about it, and I think that's good for the Cavs. Like no pressure. They needed to get over that first round hump because last year against the Knicks left such a terrible taste in everybody's mouth, as it should have. They got destroyed, dominated that whole time. Now we're here in this thing, got the win under their belt. Maybe it starts flying. Maybe that was just a little bump they needed to be the team that they have the potential to be. Like you said, Slick, the talent on this roster is still really, really good.
That Game 7 in 2018, I believe it was, ruined me as a Celtics fan. We went from rookie Jason Tatum probably doing the most insane dunk on LeBron James we've ever seen to go up like 8, and then 2 minutes later, LeBron's just ending our season.
Doing LeBron things.
That was
the primal scream thrown in at the end didn't do anyone any favors in Boston either.
No.
No,
Not
it
at
did
all.
not.
That was seen. But yeah, so hey, sometimes you steal a game on the road, things can change. That's what happened with the Bandits this past week when they were able to steal a game against Toronto Rock and come back and lock up that series of 2. Let's go to our friend Allie Brady, who's been holding down Banditland and much more. All righty, folks. My next guess, whether a Buffalo sports team is making a comeback or finding a way to break our hearts all over, there is one individual who can always make us laugh through the pain, and that is, of course, Allie Brady. Allie, welcome back to Trainwreck tonight. How's everything? How are you doing?
Feeling great after yesterday's amazing win. What a game.
Seriously, couldn't believe they found a way to get done. So obviously, Allie, you're kind of like the hostess with the mostest for the Bandits. So now got to get you on here. Big rocking of Toronto. So talk to me. Second half, fourth quarter, down 8-4. What was the mood like in the arena? It can get pretty desolate in there sometimes.
Yeah. So we had over 16,000 fans last night. So that's still a raucous crowd. And it wasn't crickets yet, but we started picking up and I think Banditland felt the excitement. And after a while, we just hit our stride and just kept going. And man, I think the last few games of that we've had in that arena, you can feel the excitement and you can feel your anxiety. There's a lot of acid reflux going on, but
can never go wrong there.
Yeah, really amazing game. And, I just long live those players and that coaching staff, and they just know how to, move forward. And it's just impressive. Such a great
impressive in more ways than one. Let's go back a couple weeks because we were there a couple weeks ago when they were able to beat Georgia in overtime, obviously in the first round of the playoffs. Is that the loudest you've ever heard, that arena for that near buzzer beater goal?
I think that was like, I had that on tape too. It's so amazing. I always get, if you have an Apple Watch, not to hopefully they're a sponsor. But you're like, loud decibel alarm goes off. So that happens a lot in one game. But that Georgia goal in OT was just, I think people were literally screaming. So just amazing. Yeah. Every game is really raucous there, which is good.
Now, they obviously have you host Sabres games as well. And we talk about this and it's kind of very tough to define, but what makes Banditland, or I guess what gives Banditland that edge versus the same amount of people at a Sabres game on a Friday night, for example?
Yeah. Well, I just fill in for the Sabres, so I don't do that as my my number one, but I think the music in the background really helps. We have this really great announcer, Swenny, who kind of fills in and talks to the crowd, which is great. It's a little more raucous. I think people know in lacrosse that it's fast. And I think if you're not wearing a suit, maybe that's the other thing with Sabres. Ticket prices are a little bit more expensive. So maybe people are just, a little nervous. But there is something, a live lacrosse game is going to be a little bit more, I don't want to say exciting because I love hockey too, but it's just a different atmosphere.
No, you're right. It's nonstop. I mean, a Sabres game, you might go, an hour or two without seeing a live goal, within the game. At a Bandits game, even in a slow game, that's not going to happen for sure. So obviously we got the championship coming up against Albany. So it's all New York State. With that said, you've seen Banditland. Do you think, how much does this mean to the Bandit fans to kind of repeat and kind of defend this championship? I mean, it's one thing to win a championship. It's already be a champion and then kind of defend it and hold that top of the mountain. I mean, that's a little bit more special, right?
Yeah. This is, at least this is my third season working with the team as their in-house announcer, and we've made the championship all 3 seasons, which is so wild. But, I think there's less pressure because you know what it feels like, right? But we were in the middle of the pack all season, and then we just started hitting our stride. And, these players are hungry for it. The fans want it. And we've played some really tough teams. And, I still think Albany we lost to Albany. And, so I don't think this is an easy win for the Bandits. I know we can do it. We have the players, we have, again, the coaching. They have great players, but we have even better players, I think. There are some people to look out for. we play next Friday, next Saturday. But Alex Simmons is really good. He's leading in the playoffs right now. He's in Albany. Ty Kurtz, Travis Longboat, Ethan Walker. But we still have our superstar players like Josh Byrne, Kyle Buchanan, Chase Frazier, Chris Cloutier, Dane Smith, Tehoka, Nanticoke. But so it's really evenly matched. But I think when you have a crowd of 18,000 people as your home base, like that, the players feel that a little bit more. And Banditland travels. I know a lot of people said that they're going to go to the Albany game. So, we'll show up.
You're sleeping on Vink there too. I mean, come on.
Vino's in a class of his own.
Outstanding for sure. No, I mean, that's a big advantage, obviously, when you got that. So yeah, Bandits will look to defend their championship. And you put it perfectly. It was a very, this whole year was kind of just like a casual defense of the championship. It was like, yeah, they were the champion, but they never really blew the doors off of anybody. Kind of, 50-50 here with most for the record. So yeah, very exciting, obviously, to see them back in the championship, and hopefully they can make it back to back. With that said, speaking of back, Lindy Ruff back. Yay. So I know, Allie, I know you've already talked about this on your platform and stuff like that, but obviously, what's your excitement level for Lindy Ruff and the Sabres? Are you all the way back in?
I'm in. I was never in favor of him leaving. I did love Granato. I think I hate when people just, when something's not going their way, they just want to blow it up. And I get it, because fans, you're the one sitting there. We're sitting there. We have all the players to succeed, but I love that he's coming home. I love that, he's, as we know, has won with Dallas. He came in second in Jersey, and welcome home, Lindy. I'm excited. And again, we have the players to get the cup. So
yeah, we have the players be talented. They need to be pushed to the edge. That's exactly what they were talking about at the end of the season. So we'll see if they can, if Lindy can get the best out of this player and the best out of this roster, obviously. We were talking, or I blurbed this to you in the rundown. So Lindy's back, obviously a great staple of the Buffalo late 90s, early 2000s. Is there any, I was saying, wondering if there's anything else we should bring back. I wrote down two things. One, Dunkaroos. I don't know, what happened to Dunkaroos?
Wait, the graham cracker or the pants?
Well, the graham cracker for sure.
Okay, Dunkaroos. Okay.
I don't know about the pants, but we can bring them back to it if they were a great fit. And then AIM chat rooms. I just kind of missed the door opening and the door closing. I don't know why. I just missed it.
I like the trauma of it. Those are both great. I think if I was going to do a food, I would say 3D Doritos. Long live the 3D Doritos.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, so unnecessary, but also not unnecessary. And then I think a sport thing, and I'm just going to put this out in the universe. If Lindy does not work, I think a great 90s Sabres player who is huge would be Mike Pekka. I think he is killing it right now as an assistant coach for the Rangers. He was so good at the Amherst, and I think he has potential to just be an amazing head coach, and maybe one day bring the 90s captain back to Buffalo.
Seriously, step by step, family does matter here in the Sabres organization. Winding it down here with Allie Brady. Always fun to join her. Make sure you're following her, Allie Brady 13 on all platforms and all and Allie_Brady on X. I had to bring this up though. I was like, because obviously you're at Banditland, you're at the Sabres. Not terrible pricing, pretty good options for the Sabres and Bandits pricing if you want to get a beer at the game or something like that. At the Formula One race this weekend, let's see if I can pull this up. Did you see this?
I saw a very, 100
steamed buns, $120. I mean, I don't care how good Korean barbecue shiitake is. I don't know if I could drop 120 on it.
Is the platter? Oh, quesadilla, honey mustard, and some tenders. About $290. What a bargain! What a steal, huh?
Yes.
That's okay.
$25 for a bottle of water.
Is that with Ozempic?
I have no idea. I do not think the Ozempic membership is good. You ever overpaid at anything for an event like this?
The I was thinking about this. Nothing that offensive, but most offensive thing I've paid for was at the Cure concert last year at Budweiser Stadium in Toronto. There was an Amex lounge. So I was like, oh, this will be fun. They'll give us deals. And for a vodka soda, I paid after I found out what the price was, $95.
$95 for a vodka. Was it at least a double?
No, it was a double, but it was
Okay.
like I was like, oh, here's my card. It's gonna be what, $17, and then they told me after I swiped, and I was like, oh, okay.
Why is it for? I don't know why it is, but for some reason on those, it's always after you swipe.
Okay.
It's never before. Like they never brace you like for the ridiculous price. I don't know why. Like I don't know if they feel uncomfortable or whatever, but that's always the same way with me. I ever overpriced
Yeah.
drinks, anything. It's always a swipe first, ask questions later. I don't know what those
Maybe we
people are
look like ballers, and then but alas, I am not one. So
Yeah, no, like I remember when I bought something from the Bill store one time, the lady looked at me and she goes like, this is $175. And I'm like, okay. Like, and I appreciated it. Like, listen, I ain't got it like that. She identified me perfectly. So I was perfectly fine being classified how she classified me. Speaking of classification, AB, big summer ahead. Obviously, we're just starting. We're just getting like relatively steady, decent weather here in Western New York. So with that said, what do you got on tap for the summer? What are your goals? What are you aiming for? What are you looking to achieve? What's most important to you going into the summer of 2024?
I would love a nice non-sunburned body, but just a little glow. But I guess you would call it a professional sailor. Like I
Okay.
compete,
Yes.
I'm an actual competitive sailor. So that's going on this summer. I'm pumped to see Keon Coleman and the goofy stuff he's going to say and the training camp. So nothing too crazy going on. I don't think I'm doing much traveling, but yeah, just a nice Buffalo summer.
Let's get a nice buffa glow here this summer. Folks, keeping track at home, 83 days till training camp. So that's huge there. Who's counting? With that said, Allie B, thank you for stopping by. Obviously, Trainwreck tonight, 3:40. Always good to have you on. Always good to catch up. We'll be seeing you, obviously, at the Bandits Championship game next weekend. Hopefully, that's for a chance to clinch another back-to-back title. But anyone you want to shout out before you sign off here?
No
Okay.
one. No, you know what? I'm going to shout out to Banditland. I was like, my mom's not watching.
I was going to let you go.
Banditland. Let's shout out for such a great weekend, and thank you for everyone listening. That's and for showing up. What a great season. We couldn't do it without everyone who showed up and supported.
And we can't do it without you, folks. Make sure you're following Allie_Brady. Make sure you're following Allie Brady 13. Folks, most importantly, make sure to go have a good night now. And we're back. Thank you to Allie Brady for joining us. Yeah, Banditland can be a crazy place. Speaking of crazy place, gents, I don't need to say to you, Lyon, France, this past Saturday. Simplement de. Il est phenomenal. I mean, I don't know. I still don't know what to make of it. I think we can say that crowd was amazing. We can say they're everything, but they made that event, and I mean, geez, Slick, you want to talk about special?
I was like, every 2 count, are they going to keep doing this? And they didn't let up the entire night. All credit to those fans. They're nuts. Really love the energy they were bringing the entire show. Guys like KO and Sammy, if he was backstage, must have loved that. Really cool to see. I hope under the Triple H era, we do start to get more of these European shows. Got that one coming up in Clash of the Castles in Austria.
Yep.
I mean, that's going to be rowdy in itself. The Ring General coming to Austria. Holy hell. But yeah, a fantastic show in France, and that main event. Wow. Sorry,
Glasgow, Scotland.
Oh, for Drew.
Yeah. Drew.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. No, I just wanted to make sure. I knew we were in Europe.
Yeah,
I think they are.
We got the Bash at Berlin later in the year too. September.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, getting them scrambled.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I mean, the crowd was absolutely insane. I mean, whether it was, finishing Paul Heyman's lines or yeeting with Jey Uso, just absolutely insane. And the nice thing is that this was kind of, I think we talked about it in the pre-show. It ended up kind of being like a house show-esque where, it was basically mostly faces, pretty predictable. But that didn't make it any less of a bad show. I mean, that's the amazing thing about this. So just curious what you guys' thoughts were, though, because I know we all swept our picks. Anything you guys took away or anything that you're surprised by?
Not as surprised. It is a little surprising, but to see, we've been very big on how over Jey Uso has been, seen it live in person, everything else. Holy shit, though, man! That was one of the most special entrances. And I don't guarantee Jey Uso wasn't I'm sure he expected a good response. Saw that crowd was crazy, but those are the moments in wrestling where you're like, this guy used to be like, face painted up, doing the dance like you'd ask, like didn't know which Uso was which, all this other stuff. And now this guy is a bona fide, I mean, no pun intended, main event superstar who's coming out and getting the best reaction of the night, better than Cody Rhodes, better than, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Like he was the star of that show. So it's just crazy to see moments like that. And it wasn't, like you said, yeah, it was a house show-esque feeling. Like it's kind of exactly how you expected it to go. I think they like doing that, these B shows in Europe, because it's a little taste of like, this is what you could get if pony up a little more money. We'll get you one of these big shows with some more surprising stuff going on, everything. But yeah, everything made sense. We had some good storyline development. And now coming into Raw, like you have a new sense of like, there's already a high sense of excitement based off of WrestleMania and everything else. But for a pay-per-view that could have been a dud and not felt anything, that crowd brought the energy up where now you're looking to Raw tonight. Like, man, how do they follow that up? And how do they manufacture that kind of energy that the crowd brought for them? Because that was amazing, man. It was a spectacle.
Yeah, it was a nice bookend to like that first chapter after WrestleMania. So now I'm excited to see what's going on as we head into, before you know it, it'll be Money in the Bank season. Obviously, we got Clash at the Castle. And then, of course, the SummerSlam, which pre-sale tickets go on for tomorrow. Now, I know we all said together, so I think the plan that we're going to do is we're going to do, as of now, me, Slick, and Rob Ryan, like get tickets tomorrow ASAP, and then obviously we'll try and link with you and the Cleveland Co. in the same section.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay,
we're going to be taking over. We're taking over. We're just taking over First Energy, whatever it's called.
It's going to be a train wreck.
Seriously. So make sure you're not a train wreck. Make sure you're following us at all the platforms, of course, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Apple. Make sure you're following along the train. Make sure you're following Majka, Slick, myself. We got Happy Hour Hoops, obviously, coming up later in the week. So make sure you're following all the storylines with Celtics, Cavs as we ride along there. But thank you for riding along with us here on Trainwreck tonight, 340 Dirty at the Derby. Make sure you're subscribing to everything. Make sure you're following along, and make sure to have a good